Hello and welcome to episode 43 of I Will Cast Anything. We're on Cloud Kingdom for a TVZ. The red Terran player spawning in the top right hand position is forsakeNXE, and the blue Zerg player spawning in the bottom left hand position is unknowngnome. This game was posted by forsakeNXE to me on the Castit subreddit, and it was played about 4 days ago. Both these players are masters level in the in the US region. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat here. forsakeNXE may be wondering if his opponent is going to be using one of Stefano's builds against Crank. Stefano obviously tearing it up recently, doing very, very well, and bringing some unconventional builds to the Zerg table. So we'll see if unknowngnome, the Zerg player, chooses to go for something unconventional. Maybe some Hydra play, you never know. And we see Forsake is going for the wall off at his main. And we see unknowngnome is droning away here, not going for any early pool just yet. Getting out as many drones as possible, munching away at that mineral patch, and we will shortly see what strategy he is going to take. Forsake getting the barracks up here, walling off the top of this ramp, and it looks like it's going to be hatch first, as we might expect. Pretty uncommon to see anything except hatch first on Cloud Kingdom these days, I feel, from Zerg players. Sometimes get the spawning pool a little bit beforehand, but generally always advisable. Get that hatchery, solid macro play, drone, 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 and drone some more, and then go kill your opponent. That's how Zergs like to do. After that barracks constructed, here comes the first scouting maneuver from Terran, sending that SCV scout, and we see the spawning pool has started for unknowngnome, so hopefully gonna get that timing just right to have the spawning pool and the hatchery finish at pretty much the same time, which lets you immediately start producing 2 queens at once if you want to, or a big bunch of lings if you decide to go a bit aggressive. And we see that Forsake is going to spot that hatchery, know what's going on there, come into the base here, see that no gas has been taken, and also going to see the spawning pool timing. And forsakeNXE is going to be very happy about that, because he knows from that timing that there's no super early aggression coming, and you see 2 queens is the choice from unknowngnome. Meanwhile, Forsake has gotten the wall off at the main, starting to work on the wall off at the natural. 2 more barracks coming with that second command center, so it looks like it's going to be bio early from unknowngnome, but no gas taken. See, I was just thinking it was about time to take some gas if stim and combat shields want to be researched nice and early, and there goes the gas. And looks like Zerg is also taking that first gas to get Zergling speed, which is always important. And unknowngnome has the Overlord hovering in the traditional position here to spot the natural, spot the gas there. And it looks like Forsake is going to push out with some Marines already. Have a look at the Selnaga Tower, have a look at the Selnaga Tower. And then come down to this third position here, where the third is being taken. So definitely unknowngnome going for a macro-focused build here, choosing to get up to 3 bases pretty much as quickly as feasible for a Zerg player. Has only 2 queens at the moment. Usually you see players go for slightly more queens than that if they're trying to take the third earlier, try and get the creep spread down through this area here so that units can move quickly between the 3 bases. Not choosing to do that. Droning very, very heavily here. See, big worker lead for unknowngnome, but there's I didn't even notice this bunker going up. I assumed when I saw a bunker constructing it must be back here, but there's actually been a bunker rush of sorts, and this third is going to go down. This is a pretty big early win for Forsake here, getting that bunker built just out of vision of the unconstructed hatchery, getting 3 Marines across into it. It looks like unknowngnome thought about trying to shoot down from the high ground, see if there's range for that queen there. Yup, is going to be able to at least kill that SCV, but not in range of the bunker, so excellent bunker positioning there. This bunker is going to kill this hatchery, no problem. Some lings do pop out. Oh, and very cleverly unloads the marines there to take out that spine crawler before it can construct. But here comes a queen. But the queen doesn't want to get into that bunker and get killed either, so that baneling nest has gone down somewhere. There it is. So banelings are going to have to be what's used to bust this bunker. Oh, a lot of these zerglings are going to die because they can't get good surface area on this bunker. You can see only 2 attacking at once. Here they go. They've come around the side. They are going to kill this bunker now and all the marines in it. And they didn't actually kill this hatchery, so I thought that was going to be a pretty effective move from forsakeNXE, but unknowngnome has managed to hold it off without losing anything there. Did lose some larva time, and that big marine push is carried on here. We see stim and +1 weapons is coming behind this, so forsake going for not quite an all-in here, but definitely a lot of early pressure, and now is going to get this hatchery surely without much trouble. Down to just 120 health, focusing on killing workers now. Now the hatchery is going to die. This queen will probably die as well, trying to micro back from the broodlords here. Stutter step, stutter step, stutter step. Some marines are dying. Here come a lot of banelings. Has to get a good split here, and that is a very nice split. It's not worth using one baneling to kill just a couple of marines. The zerglings are going to get us around and munch these marines down eventually. Oh, well, some exciting early trades there, and we can see that unknowngnome has a significant worker, well, not as significant as before workerly. There we go, round of drones just popped. So a lot more workers for unknowngnome, and while that was going on, unknowngnome said, I really want 3 bases, so I'm going to take a third up here, probably shortly retake a third here. Has a baneling nest, getting infestation pit, went up to layer tech while this was going on, researching burrow, so getting double evolution chambers. So unknowngnome not in a bad position at all, but probably not thrilled about how that went down, getting bunker rushed, and similarly I think forsake probably not thrilled about not doing slightly more damage there. Still working heavily on marines, has a pretty significant wall off here, doesn't want to get busted by banelings, and going so heavy into bio here. I don't think we have a single factory. Oh no, here we go, there's one factory has been built, but just lots and lots of barracks. 3 barracks up here, 2 barracks down there, 1 over there. So big marine production. We see the medvac starting to come out for Terran as well, and the marauders have started too. Both gases at the natural have been taken. Meanwhile Zerg has taken 2 gas up at this 3rd base, is rebuilding this base here, so going to be up to 4 bases pretty soon, getting pathogen glands, getting +1/+1, getting a lot more lings, and is going to need those lings because there's a quite significant marine force here. These marines do have stim, don't have combat shield yet. Oh no, wait, they do have combat shield. So stim and combat shield, concussive shells coming for those marauders, and +1 armor as well, and the medvac starting to come out. So forsake getting a big force out early here, getting a 3rd as well, and gonna go for some more pressure here. What does unknowngnome have to fight this out? Well, only lings and banelings at the moment. Pathogen glands is about to finish, but no infestors are training, just lots and lots of lings. Oh, there was a buried baneling there, I missed. That was an incredible hit. I saw the burrow had finished, I did not see that a baneling had burrowed itself, and that is a huge win for unknowngnome, and immediately having wiped out all of those marines with 1 baneling landmine is going to rush across the map just in time. Forsake puts up the barrier there, but when these banelings get across, they're doing a lot of damage. Oh, and the lings get through. They're going to eat up these marines. There's no bunker down here to defend against this. There are enough marines to kill all those zerglings, but that was a worrying moment for forsake. It looks like this 3rd still hasn't landed yet. I think there's a borrowed... Yes, there is a borrowed zerg under there. I didn't even notice that either. These borrowed units hide so well that I don't even spot them. Now baneling speed finally on the way, and some infestors. +2/+2 is coming, so Terran is going to have an upgrade advantage, and not fantastic baneling hits there, it must be said, doing some damage but not quite enough. What's the worker count like? Pretty even at the moment, which is an advantage for Terran, because obviously mules will be supplementing that, although not many mules out at the moment, most of that energy being saved for scans. 6 medvacs, 24 marines and 5 marauders, whereas still mostly queens, but that infestor count starting to get higher and higher. Here comes high tech, and here comes the 2 gases at this 3rd base, and +2 attack. Baneling speed just finished up. A ton of Banelings are morphing in, but more pressure coming, and I don't think there are any Baneling mines this time. Nope, there are not. But those Banelings have just popped, and with speed, they're going to do a lot of damage. Oh, fungal, everything, and the Banelings come in. Big Baneling hits. Good surround with the links here. More Baneling hits, and Unknown Gnome is cleaning this up. Forsake taking a lot of damage. A small force was left up here and has killed 2 queens. I think they might have been picked up by those medvacs, actually. And now there's nothing to take out these medvacs here. No queens left. A couple of infestors are going to chase out and get some fungals here and throw out some infested Terrans. These medvacs might fall. Oh no, they're going to get away just in time. Needed some more fungals, but didn't have enough energy on those infestors. So Forsake lost, again, most of his ground army there, but has just a ton of medvacs and is reproducing marines very fast with all these reactored barracks up here. Just churning them out. +2 is about to finish. Ultralisks coming, so getting that hive tech finish, not choosing to go Spire, Greater Spire and get those Broodlords, but instead going for Infestor. Ultralisk, it looks like, is going to be the plan for Unknown Gnome. And +3, so going to be ahead +2 in upgrades. Oh no. Sorry, isn't going to be quite that far ahead, but a slight upgrade lead for Terran at the moment, not a massive one. And you can see reproducing this marine army so quickly, this bio army, and pushing out again. Here comes the 4th command center. That's going to be floated down soon, but 5th hatch is being taken by the Zerg player. And Forsake has a significant supply lead and is going to push in again here. These infestors need to get some good fungals off, and they do get some pretty good fungals in the middle, but the infestors are dying. There aren't enough lings to do significant damage here on those infestors, although they have done good work with the fungals, are not frontline fighting units. Here comes some more lings, some more great fungals go down, and the medvacs are starting to fall out of the sky, but forced to throw infested Terrans. A lot of those infestors have been killed. And Forsake is pulling ahead, I think, in this game. These trades just going slightly in Forsake's favor. You can see the resources lost also in Forsake's favor at this point in time. And Unknown Gnome, although at an economy advantage in terms of bases, is behind on income thanks to the mules that are being fielded by Terran, and is not able to do any harassment at the moment. Does have an overseer over here, so knows what's going on with his opponent, but not able to do any harassment, not able to do anything about this huge number of medvacs that are up there. Hasn't been able to fungal them down, has lost a lot of infestors, down to just 5 now. 80 drones you can see here, so lots and lots of drones for Unknown Gnome, and now churning out lings and getting a ton of ultralisks. See how effective that can be. Here come the infestors. Can they take these medvacs out with some well-placed fungals? They're going to have to be well-placed. Here go the lings, and that's more than enough lings to clean out these marines and push them back. The fungals do go down on the medvacs. Here come the infested Terrans, and I think some of these medvacs are going to start dying finally. Oh no, maybe not. There are enough marines held back here, and they push back. The lings and ultras go in again, and everything is picked up, and because there's no anti-air here, all these units are going to live. So what is Unknown Gnome doing? Attacking. These ultras have been caught out of position. They're moving. They're just walking past these units, and Forsake is doing a good job of microing, picking up these ground units and dropping them, spreading out his units to avoid the splash damage from these ultras. But meanwhile, there's a ton of lings, and they are massacring the workers up at that expansion. But these ultralisks have had a pretty rough time of it, it must be said. 18 workers killed by Unknown Gnome, and not stopping yet. Those marines will finally clean up those lings, although 4 of them are going to get through here and possibly do even more damage. But that ultralisk force was forced to retreat. But more ultralisks coming all the time. +3, so the upgrades are going to even out. Those lings have finally been killed. Didn't do any more damage, and pushing in now with lings and ultras once again. Gets a good surround on this group of units here, but they're going to stim away and survive, and still no anti-air to take out those medvacs. The ultralisks are starting to eat through these marines though, and they are going to have a go at this planetary fortress. It's not finished yet, so it's not doing any damage. I think that planetary is going to fall, and so are all of those marines, so the ultralisks coming good at last, but a lot of them on pretty low health. The planetary's up and firing away, but it's going to die. And there's still just a ton of medvacs. Nothing out to deal with at the moment, and only lings being produced by Unknown Gnome. Taking out that 4th though. Here comes another base from Forsake. And the Marines and Marauders are pushing these Ultras back across the map. And with Stim, they can just outrun them every single time. And Unknown Gnome doesn't have anything to take out those medvacs. Pesky medvacs. There's 17 of them out on the field, and they're just healing things almost as fast as they can be damaged. Here's a massive drone train coming across. The main is mined out. The natural is pretty much totally mined out as well. Oh, and coming in to try and take out all these drones that were down here. A lot of workers are going to be killed here. Some are being picked up by the medvacs, but not enough. Oh dear. Not a good place to be if you're a worker. These Marines are trying to stim away and kill a lot of Ultralisks, which they are doing. Pretty good micro on those Marines and Marauders, and there's a lot of buildings here which are difficult for the Ultralisks to get at. Pretty hard to tell what's going on underneath all these medvacs, I have to say. They pretty much block out everything. But I think a lot of damage is being done by Unknown Gnome now, starting to take out this base. No mining was going on here anyway, so not the end of the world. Finally, the Spire comes for Unknown Gnome to get something up in the air, try and take out these medvacs. But his army is chewing through the base, taking out some more of these barracks. Here are some more Marines though. They're going to stim in and chase away these 6 remaining Ultralisks. And it looks like this command center is just, this orbital command is just going to survive. More fights between Ultras and Marines. Just back and forth, very back and forth this game. Quite exciting. What's going on behind this? Another base is coming down. The Spire has finished for Unknown Gnome. More Lings are coming in to support these Ultras. Just Lings and Ultras being produced for Unknown Gnome, and just Marines and Marauders being produced for Forsake. It doesn't need to produce any more medvacs because it already has tons of them. But this position here has been wiped out, and it looks like Unknown Gnome is going to try and go in and try and do some damage in the main base, but there are a lot of Marines and Marauders coming out of there. The ones that are popping out of these barracks are going to die pretty quickly. Heavy mining going on up at this planetary, which I don't believe Unknown Gnome knows about. No, does not know about. Income about even for both players at the moment. Here comes that Greater Spire. Oh, excellent fungals on that big group of Marines up there, and these Ultras are trying to chew through these barracks, but are just sitting there and taking fire from the Marines. They're going to have to run away. And Unknown Gnome has taken a supply lead now and has done a lot of damage to the base of his opponent. But Forsake is now pushing out again with all these Marines, medvacs and Marauders. This Ultralisk is on its own and it's going to die. These Marines are slightly isolated but stimming away. How many Ultralisks has Unknown Gnome made here? 10 Ultras out on the map at the moment. Corruptors are on the way. Greater Spire is nearly finished. There's going to be a lot of Broodlords. I think these medvacs are just scouting at the moment, trying to check out where there might be any more bases to deal with. And these Ultras just roaming around, controlling the middle of the map. A couple of Lings coming up to scout here. This orbital has been repositioned, but no mining is taking place. And in fact, some damage being done, some workers there. And we can see a lot of workers have been killed by Unknown Gnome. 55 workers have been killed over the course of this game. But the Broodlords are morphing in, and that could be a game changer. Although with this many Marines out on the field, and so many medvacs to heal them up, I'm not sure how effective those Broodlords are going to be. They're going to have to stay behind the Ultras, sending in the Ultras before the Broodlords are ready. Maybe not the smartest idea. These Ultras are dying in pretty large numbers. There's a pretty good spread and concave from Forsake here, and is machine gunning down all of these Ultralisks. They're just dying. Maybe these are being thrown away. Yes, I think they are actually. I think Unknown Gnome wants to transition into Broodlord Infestor. So throwing away all those Ultras that were spent so much time building. But while those Infestors have no energy, Unknown Gnome is going to be able to attack and might be able to stim under these Broodlords and kill them here. Needs to push up and target them down. The Broodlords are going to have to run away, but they can't run away fast enough, and they are just dying. Broodlords are great units, but not against Marines on their own, with no Infestors or anything else to support them. 3 more pop out. They're going to die as well. The Marines finally getting pushed away. Only 2 Broodlords survive out of all those that were initially supported, so just massive trades going on in this game. Huge resources lost for both players, but you see Unknown Gnome having thrown away that whole army of Ultralisks is well behind in the resources lost section, and threw away all of those Broodlords as well. This hatch is going to fall, but there are a lot of Lings coming down, and they might be able to surround and kill this force that's been sent down here. Excellent fungals on this long line of Marines, and now the Lings can go in and clean them up. So losing a base but killing a lot of units, and the Broodlords have come up here to take out this, or try and take out this planetary, but with this many SCVs repairing, I don't think 3 Broodlords is going to be enough. And Marines are coming in here, they're taking out a lot of infestors on the way. Unknown Gnome is spread out, trying to fight on too many fronts at the moment. It doesn't have a strong enough army in any one position. This hatchery is going to fall too, and Forsake has started to get on the front foot, well behind in supply at the moment, but doing very, very well for himself. Going to kill a bunch of workers too, take out these corruptors, still has a huge medvac count. These Broodlords are just sitting up here doing nothing, but no mining is taking place, so I guess that is a bit of an advantage. Oh, the Banelings roll in, take out some of these Marines, but still plenty of Marines and Marauders going back to Ultralisks now. Unknown Gnome doesn't know which way to transition at the moment. Still hasn't really reduced the medvac count that much, or well, I suppose they're only 8 now compared to the 17 earlier, but still plenty of medvacs. Another Marine force is swinging down here, desperate for more bases, desperate for more money. Looks like there are some borrowed Zerglings up here. They're not doing anything at the moment, but they'll pop up and kill some workers pretty shortly. And this Marine Marauder force is poked into this base here, trying to take out the Ultralisk Cameron, but surrounded by Ultralisks and killed, although they have been picked up, and they're going to go into the main here. They could take out some tech structures, this could be huge, or maybe just take out some Overlords and supply block Unknown Gnome. This endless battle between Broods and Planetary is ongoing, and this small Marine Marauder force is going to do a lot of damage in the main here. Those Lings are being rallied away. If key tech structures can be taken out, this could be huge for Forsake, and Forsake is taking out hatcheries all over the map. There are some infestors over here that'll clean this up, and finally the Ultralisks come to clear this up, but that infestation pit has been taken out. That is a big, big win for Forsake, and is going to drop down and kill some more drones too. I think these 2 medvacs are not long for this world, unfortunately. Still buried Lings here, still 3 Broodlords doing nothing at all against this. This is just a weird, slightly tragic situation up here. Looks like that drop now moved down onto the low ground, and lots of workers being killed here. 17 workers killed by Forsake at the moment, and just picking up whenever the Ultras come in, and the lack of airborne forces still a problem for Unknown Gnome. Needs to get some mutas out and just deal with all these medvacs, I think. Another big Marine push comes now. Marines versus Ultras. Great fungals go down on the middle of that Comtot force, and the Ultras are doing a lot of damage, but the Marines are machine gunning them down as well, and a few Marauders are going to survive, try and do some damage to these borrowed infestors, one-shotting them. There are so many, and being picked up as the Lings come in. Excellent pick up and put down micro for this whole game by Forsake, but starting to run out of money, really. Mining almost nothing up at this base. No gas being mined down here, but don't need that much gas when you're going with just Marine Marauder, Marine Marauder, Marine Marauder, Marine Marauder. Here comes another big wave of Ultras from Unknown Gnome, trying to retake this base here. Has retaken this base here, or trying to at least, but isn't going to be able to hold it for terribly long. You can see a big income advantage for Terran at the moment. Zerg has mined out most of the bases close to their corner of the map. And finally, I think those Broodlords started targeting down SCVs and might actually start to make some inroads, maybe, but no. Maybe not. We'll see. I'll leave this open down here and we can see if that planetary ever actually dies. I think it might be on its way out now. In fact, it looks like it is. It looks like Unknown Gnome might have gone up there, realised what was going on, and started targeting down some SCVs. Yes, we can see we're up to 67 killed now, but another Marine Marauder force is in here. They're stimming in. The infestors come in, but they're pretty much unsupported. They get a couple of good fungals off, but they're all going to die. That hatchery is going to die as well. Here comes another big force. That's going to sweep down here and clear out this base, and I think Forsake is solidly in the lead now. These Ultras are going to come in and do plenty of damage, but again, Forsake able to pick up and move away at will. Still nothing that Unknown Gnome can do about this airborne army, and that planetary did at last fall after fighting, holding off 3 Broodlords for, 10 minutes or so, I would say, able to win. But now just really one mining base for Terran, and that income advantage, not as big as it was, but having taken out the main mining location for Unknown Gnome, Forsake is still ahead in income, and Unknown Gnome is not able to produce much, is going to surround a lot of those units with lings there, but again, pick up and run away. This hatch down in the bottom right has been killed. These SCVs, oh no, running past, trying to middle walk desperately out of the way, but a lot of them are going to be killed. There's some Marines up at the top here that are also going to be surrounded and damaged pretty heavily. These rocks haven't been taken out though, so those having to single file those ultras up there, and I think Unknown Gnome is in a bit of a problematic position. We might have a base trade situation with 3 Broodlords and a ton of ultras coming in to take out this army. These SCVs just standing around as cannon fodder at the moment. Forsake is not paying attention, but is rather going in here, takes out the last mining hatch that his opponent has, and is going to push through. And Unknown Gnome realizes that this is trouble and is pulling back here. Forsake not even landing this, focused completely on trying to take out his opponent's base, killing all those drones that are trying to come through and do some damage. And once again, these 3 Broodlords are just sitting up here raining down Doom. They're not making a huge amount of progress, but this army is up in the base of Unknown Gnome. Unknown Gnome is supply block. All of those overseers have been killed and all the tech structures are going to go down. I think Forsake is gonna win this game in a pretty short amount of time, but the ultras are coming in. They might be able to clean out this army here. That would be huge for Unknown Gnome if he can stabilize, but once again, something we keep seeing happen, Forsake able to pick up and move away, but there are some Ultralisks up here waiting for them. For some reason they're moving away. Gas Geyser is not really the greatest target at the moment. And looks like some lings got up in there, and a lot of structures have been chewed away. Both players taking massive, massive losses at the moment, but Forsake still in lead. Is either player mining? Not really, no. Only 4 drones for Unknown Gnome at the moment. Plenty of SCVs for Terran, mining with some mules down here, has a base over here, not yet mining. With that, these 3 Broodlords have been worth their weight in gold so far. This one's got 7 kills, this one's got 18 kills, this one's got 13 kills. The Ultras are going to come in and take out this orbital command. And back home, Forsake has a lot of SCVs standing around doing nothing because he's afraid to move them out onto the map because they might get killed. Well, it's been an action-packed game, a bit of a lull at the moment. Unknown Gnome still supply block, still with very little income, not really building much. Long-range mining all the way up from the main base. Oh, the main base just being killed by a drop, and there are no hatcheries left for Unknown Gnome, and Unknown Gnome doesn't have enough to build anymore. Can't do any more mining, so has to win with the army that is on the field at the moment. Has to win with 3 Broodlords and 9 Ultralisks. Not even any Corruptors, 5 Lings, but is going to be revealed here. Terran's still mining away, Terran's still able to produce units. Extractor going up in the top corner of the map here to try and hide a building to survive, and these Broodlords are just raining down death. I think it's time for Forsake to move out, but doesn't want to while those Broodlords are there. Doesn't want to risk the Ultralisks, but is gradually losing barracks. Still producing 10 Marines at a time though, still has an income, that's the important thing. Here come the Ultras. It's now or never for Unknown Gnome. Has to wipe out his opponent's mining. Has to wipe out his opponent's command centers because Unknown Gnome has no hatcheries. And it looks like Forsake is just waiting for the army of Zerg to come up into his main, because Forsake knows with his opponent being revealed, if he can kill his opponent's army, he will win the game. Here it comes. These veteran Broodlords raining down a lot of damage. Here comes the stim, the Marines are coming in, this is the final battle. There's a whole lot of Ultralisks here, but these buildings are going to be problematic, and Forsake is picking up and moving away. Going to pick up buildings, going to move away. Still mining very, very heavily down here. Plenty of minerals for Terran, and this whole base is effectively going to be picked up and flown away, but both players supply block now. I think it looks like Forsake might try and relocate to the top left-hand position. Oh no, just flying down onto the low ground here. But these Broodlords are going to come across and do even more damage. These Ultralisks haven't really been damaged much by this. And although Forsake is still mining at the moment, is not able to produce any buildings, so is going to go and try and kill the last structures. Has dropped into the main, wiped out a few structures here. Broodlings taking out a lot, but I think Forsake is going to win. I think this extractor here and this one here, which is about to die to that marine, are the only buildings left. And Forsake is going to win the game. Oh, there's one more extractor over here. Oh, very, very crafty. But here comes another command center. And these have been taken off. Flying buildings, there's nothing that Unknown Gnome has that can attack flying buildings. So this is going to be a win for Forsake. All that Forsake has to do is find that one remaining building for Unknown Gnome, which it looks like Unknown Gnome is moving their army across to try and protect it. SCV's coming up to try and rebuild a ton of supply depots up here so that unit production can resume for forsakeNXE. And just scouting around at the moment, trying to find where that last... Oh, it does actually know where this is. Looks like just putting down to heal here. Yep, and it's going to be able to... Oh no, but look out for the Ultralisks! Look out for the Ultralisks! Pick up Forsake, run away! This extractor down here, the only thing that is keeping Unknown Gnome alive, but it looks like the drop is going to come pretty soon. Yep, here it comes. Will the Ultras be able to kill everything? I think there's just not enough space on the ground to drop into there at the moment. Oh, and another extractor is being built down here, so 2 extractors now keeping Unknown Gnome alive, but no more will ever be built. And a base is being reconstructed, unsupply blocked is Terran, and will shortly be able to start unit production once again. And I think Unknown Gnome at this point has to know that they are well beaten, but hanging in here tenaciously. These 3 Broodlords and all these Ultralisks have done very, very well to hold off for this long. Definitely not your standard game. But Unknown Gnome not willing to give up. Really can't see what hope Unknown Gnome has. Going to make use of these remaining 5 links perhaps. I'm not sure what they're going to achieve. They might be able to come and kill this command down, orbital command down here. But this guy's mining away. This guy's mining away. Medvacs are moving off here. Not trying to do any damage, in a bit of a lull. And again, there's no way that I can see that Unknown Gnome can win this, because there's no anti-air and nothing to produce anti-air. Here we go. This is going to be the final deadly answer for the Terran player. Here it is. Banshees. Cloak. There is one Overseer. Yes, Overseer. That's what I meant to say. But, so there is detection, but no anti-air. So that single Banshee with Cloak will be able to kill everything. Doesn't even need Cloak actually, just any Banshee at all. Will be able to do all the killing that needs to be done. Although these these Lings desperately trying to kill that starport before it gets out, but here it comes. Forsake saying GG man. Yes, I agree, GG man, and Unknown Gnome has indeed left the game. Well, a lot of fun that one. A lot of fun.